gentlemen, there comes a moment in every person's life when heaven announces a change, a divine interruption, a shift from being unnoticed to stepping into purpose. And I'm here to declare prophetically that the moment has arrived. Your season of being hidden is over. There's a holy pattern working in your life, one that is often missed or misunderstood. When God chooses to hide you, it's never because you lack value, ability, or meaning. It's because something sacred is being prepared within you. Seeds don't grow in daylight. They begin their journey in darkness. Before God brings someone into the spotlight, He takes them through a process that shields them from attention. Not to punish them, but to protect the calling inside them. Every person God used in the Bible had a time of being hidden. Joseph was hidden in a pit, in slavery, and then in prison before he stood before Pharaoh. Moses lived in hiding for 40 years in a desert before he faced Pharaoh. David stayed hidden in the fields looking after sheep before he ever held a sword or wore a crown. And Esther, the woman who seemed to rise suddenly, was behind palace walls for months, being prepared for her defining moment. You see, God's pattern hasn't changed. He hides what He's preparing for something greater. The issue is that in our modern world, where people chase attention and approval, we've started to dislike the seasons where we're hidden. We think being quiet means we're not important. We confuse being unnoticed with being undeserving. But God's kingdom doesn't follow the rules of this world. Heaven doesn't measure your worth by likes, fame, or platforms. It sees your value through your obedience, your loyalty, and your willingness to be shaped in secret. When God hides you, He's doing something deep inside that others can't see. He's building your character, purifying your motives, teaching you to lean on Him. When there's no applause, no invites, no one recognizing your gifts, that's where the anointing is formed. In silence, in the crushing, in the place where only God is watching. You've never been invisible to heaven, even when people ignored you on earth. Many want the platform but skip the process. They want the praise without the preparation. But God knows that if He gives you influence without intimacy with Him, you won't be able to carry the weight of your calling. So He hides you. He draws you back. He places you in a time where it looks like nothing is happening, but actually everything is. In this hidden space, your identity is built. Your faith is tested and purified. Your identity is built on friendships and pure. Your intentions are brought into the light and corrected. It's in this secret place that God lines up your heart with His plans and your timing with His calendar. Look again at Esther's story. She was an orphan raised in silence. Her people were living in exile. There was no prophecy telling her she'd be queen, but she stayed faithful in what seemed small. She obeyed in private, and when her moment arrived, the silent preparation she went through positioned her for a victory that changed history. God is not wasting your quiet season. He's laying a foundation strong enough to carry what He's building in your life. He's freeing you from needing approval. He's training your ears to hear His voice above all others. He's grounding you in truth so that when doors open and influence grows, you won't be moved by trends or pressure. You'll be led by purpose. Some of the most powerful people in the kingdom are those who've been hidden and crushed, yet stayed faithful. They don't need a stage to stay loyal. They don't need attention to stay focused. Their strength doesn't come from being noticed, but from being sent. So don't hate your hidden season. Don't rush out of the cave God put you in. Don't walk away from the process just because it's painful. God never wastes time on someone He doesn't plan to use. You're not being passed over. You're being rebuilt. You're not falling behind. You're being aligned with heaven's timing. Purpose doesn't happen by chance. It is the result of divine shaping, and nothing given to God in the process is ever wasted. The hurt, the crushing, the trimming back, they're all part of heaven's plan. You are not here by accident. Everything you've been through, everything you've endured, even the things you thought made you unfit, it was all working in your favor, not against you. Think of a sculptor starting with a big block of stone. Most people just see the rock, but the sculptor sees the statue inside. Every strike, every cut, every delay, it's all done on purpose. Each rough edge is being shaped for glory. So understand this well. You were never buried. You were planted. You weren't cast aside. You were being placed. You weren't forgotten. You were being shaped. The silence wasn't God turning away. It was God protecting what He was growing in you. When the process is done, when your character is strong, when your heart has been purified and your identity is firm, your purpose will be revealed. And no one will be able to stop a life that God has fully prepared. You won't have to beg for a chance. You won't have to force open doors. The platform will come looking for you because your moment has arrived. Think of Esther again. She didn't go chasing opportunities. She was being made ready in the background. She respected the process. She let herself be mentored. She allowed herself to be trained, to be sharpened. And when the time was right, favor found her. She didn't force her way in. The door opened because her purpose called for it. Heaven doesn't prepare you to stay hidden. It prepares you to make a difference. God never creates in secret what He doesn't plan to use in public. That calling you feel, that burden in your soul, that fire inside that keeps pushing you forward, it's there because there's a purpose waiting, not to feed your pride, but to fulfill your obedience. So keep going, stay committed. Don't look down on the process. Don't walk away from the discipline, because when the time is right, your moment will come suddenly, but not by accident. You're not just stepping into visibility, you're stepping into holy responsibility. And the world won't just see you, they'll see the God who shaped you. Let's be clear, Esther didn't become queen because she was beautiful. She became queen because she was obedient. There were many beautiful women in the empire. Many had charm, elegance, and outward beauty. But favor doesn't come just because of looks. Favor follows obedience. Esther didn't just impress an earthly king. She aligned herself with the will of the King of Kings. While others depended on appearance, Esther depended on position. She listened to Mordecai. She followed wise direction. She humbled herself. She didn't try to trick her way into royalty. She allowed the preparation to shape her and let obedience open the path. Let me tell you something that true kingdom people understand. Obedience will open doors that skill alone can't. God's anointing will take you places your looks never will. And say, the looks will take you places your looks never will. Being in the right spiritual position will place you in rooms that no human effort could. Esther's beauty might have helped her get noticed, but it was her attitude, her humility, her wisdom and her obedience that saved her people. You can't fulfill your purpose with just outward talent. You can't walk in destiny without deep character. Purpose needs more than charm. It needs trust, humility, and a yes to God, even when it doesn't make sense. Your rising won't happen just because you're talented. It'll happen because you're in the right place spiritually. It won't happen just because you're experienced. It'll happen because you're surrendered. The crown doesn't land on the one who wants it most. It lands on the one who is ready to carry it. This generation needs to hear this. It's not about being popular. It's about having the right posture. It's not just about being seen. It's about being sent. When God chooses you, He doesn't check your social media followers. He looks at your level of faith. He doesn't search for the loudest voice. He looks for the most surrendered heart. Esther stepped into royalty not to show off a crown, but to stand in the gap for her people. It wasn't her beauty that saved Israel. It was her bravery and obedience. And the same will be true for you. If you want to wear the crown, be ready to carry the cross. If you want to influence others, accept instruction. If you want purpose, don't run after position, run after obedience. And when the time is right, the crown will come looking for you. Timing in God's kingdom is not just a suggestion, it's a divine strategy. God is never random. He's never caught off guard. He moves with purpose, not out of impulse. And when your moment arrives, every delay becomes a doorway. Every rejection turns into redirection. Every obstacle becomes a setup for undeniable favor. You need to grasp this truth. Favor is never early, and it's never too late. It arrives exactly on heaven's schedule. And when favor comes, it overrides natural rules. It jumps over protocols. It silences those who doubt you. It lifts the humble and brings down the arrogant. When God's timing aligns with your obedience, nothing on earth or in hell can block what's been released over your life. Look at Esther. She didn't chase favor. Favor came to her. Not because she was loud, not because she pushed her way forward, but because she moved in line with God's calendar. She acted when Mordecai said, "Now is the time." She didn't stall, she didn't overanalyze, she didn't question whether she was good enough. She stepped forward, and heaven stood behind her. That's what favor does. It marks you. It opens doors you never knocked on. It puts your name in conversations where your feet haven't even stepped yet. But listen closely. Favor follows God's timing, not personal ambition. Many people feel frustrated because they're gifted but out of season. They crave visibility without going through the process. They want to walk into their calling without learning discipline. But in God's kingdom, you don't launch yourself, you're released. And when heaven says it's time, no person can say otherwise. When the king stretches out his scepter, no rule, no demon, no opinion, and no system can block what God has begun. Divine timing makes natural resistance powerless. You don't need to control your moment, you just need to be ready for it. When God sends you, you're not walking in alone. You're stepping in with His authority, His support, and His seal of approval. And when heaven approves you, the earth must adjust. So wait with purpose, prepare with focus, stay faithful, because when the clock of heaven strikes now, you won't have to fight for the position. It will find you. Too often people mix up visibility with value. They believe that if they're not seen, they're not significant. But God doesn't judge greatness by your stage. He measures it by what's being formed inside you. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared not for a short-term role, but for a lasting, eternal purpose. The palace didn't make Esther a queen. The process did. It wasn't the crown that made her a deliverer. It was the fire she walked through. It was her obedience, her humility, her courage, long before she ever wore the crown. The palace may be the platform, but the process is where your foundation is built. Without a process, there can be no lasting promotion. God was never ignoring you. He was investing in you. He was sharpening your discernment. He was cutting away your pride. He was teaching you how to lead, how to serve, how to be strong, and how to wait without letting go of your worship. Some of the most powerful leaders didn't come from royal thrones. They came from hard places. They know how it feels to be unseen. They know what it's like to be misunderstood. They've fought battles with no applause, but they didn't quit. You were hidden in the dark, not because you were worthless, but because light would have exposed you too early. You were protected because the weight of the crown would have crushed you before you were ready. You weren't unworthy. You were too precious to be revealed before your time. When God shapes someone, He doesn't rush. He takes His time. He's not only building your gift, He's shaping your character to carry it. He's not just guiding you to the palace. He's making sure you have the wisdom to lead when you get there. And know this, if you skip the process, the platform will break you. But if you go through the process, the platform will reveal what God already built inside of you. So don't hate the preparation, be thankful for it. You're not being punished, you're being placed. You're not forgotten, you're being formed into someone who can carry influence without losing closeness with God. The palace doesn't create the queen, it reveals who the queen already became during the process. Destiny isn't random. It's not left to chance, to people's opinions, or to worldly systems. Destiny is set by God. Just like a baby in the womb has a set time to be born, so does the calling on your life. And when that moment arrives, absolutely nothing can stop what God planned. Let me say it clearly. Your battles can't cancel your calling. Your waiting can't erase your purpose. Not even your past mistakes can cancel what God already wrote about you. When heaven says now, demons back away, doors open wide, chains fall off, favor flows freely, and things start moving faster than anything you could ever make happen by yourself. The enemy tried to wear you down in the waiting. He whispered lies that it would never come to pass. He threw distractions, wrong turns, and even fake opportunities your way. But you didn't quit. You held on. And because of that, you are stepping into a God-ordained moment that cannot be denied. Esther had a divine appointment with destiny. Her people were in danger. The enemy had planned their destruction. But the King of Glory had written a plan to rescue them. And just in time, Esther stepped up, and history shifted forever. Let me remind you, God never sends you into battle without already declaring victory. You might have felt delayed, but you're not disqualified. You may have been stretched, but you're still here. And now your Kairos moment, your set appointed divine time, is here. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to pretend. When heaven says now, you walk through that door with confidence, because it was never about your skill, it was always about God's authority. So lift your head, Esther. Rise up, chosen one. Destiny is no longer a far-off dream. It's the ground you're now walking on, because when heaven says the time has come, nothing in hell can delay what God already declared. Your moment isn't approaching, it's already here. So today, I speak this over you. Your time has arrived. The hidden chapter is closing. The waiting has given you wisdom. The quiet moments have built your strength. The crushing has produced the oil. You didn't go through all that pain for nothing. You didn't cry all those tears without reward. You didn't stay faithful in the shadows just to stay unseen. Now is your moment. The crown isn't just a symbol, it's a sign from heaven. You've been prepared for this very hour. You are the answer to someone's desperation. You are the breakthrough rising in the middle of darkness. You are the voice hell hoped would stay silent, but you won't stay quiet. You won't shrink back. You won't apologize for the anointing on your life, because when heaven opens a door, no man, no devil, no delay can shut it. So step forward, stand tall, speak with courage, move with boldness, stay grounded in humility, because the time is now. Your hidden season is over. Esther, walk like royalty. You were born for this.